Hello, everyone. As you can see, the treasure chest is open. Right now, with the 50-cent coins, the dimes, the quarters, that's how full it is. But I've got some stacks of Morgans and some more 50-cent coins to put in it. Now, before we get too much further on this is the two ashtrays with the amber sitting inside the blue, which is an interesting look. We'll pull this up a little bit. Uh, Hold on. See if I can get a light behind this. It's not creating the effect I thought it would. They do look cool with a backlight. Although this particular light is not working with me very well. I think I ruined that light. Let's see. Oh well, that's besides the point. We'll put that back there. And we'll go ahead and first things first, all 10 of these Morgan and Peace dollars go in here. These Morgan dollars go in here. And this entire stack of 50-cent coins goes on top. Could stick these three in. Last time I did, though, they got lost in the mix. Anyway, let's drag the ruler. It's right up to the top and barely clears a couple of the coins. So I can get a little bit more in it. So apparently, oh wait, these are supposed to be in here too. Let's see if it still stays that way. It's going to take a few more to really totally completely fill it. But here, have a look. It's pretty full. So what do I do next in terms of my challenge? Do I keep buying more until it's so full that when I put them in here, they just flop over the top? Apparently that's what I'm going to have to do to make it look really full. I kind of thought it would have filled up before this because this has went more than I thought. But it's been an adventure and I've found some interesting coins along the way, including Seated Liberty half that I was able to get cheap enough to put in this. Whoops. The most worn out JFK 50-cent piece I've ever seen. Where'd that other one go to? Two of the most polished 50-cent coins I've ever seen. They're really shiny. I mean, this one's really worn, flat, and that shiny. So even if it was a proof, it wouldn't be that shiny where it wore if it was worn. This Benjamin's just polished up something weird. It wouldn't quite look like this if it was a proof. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. I was able to get these. I need to stop dropping these. They're slippery though because they're slicks. But when you can get slicks for $50 like these, cheap enough, then it pays to do it. Let's see, I almost pulled all the big coins back out of here that I wanted to keep out. All right, the rest of these are just Standing Liberty Common Date, worn, Mercury dimes, and there's Washington. There's $50 of varying, just dateless Walker even. A hole punched Mercury. But I mean, I've gotten all different kinds of coins for this, and it's been an adventure. Where's a pull some quarters out of here? See if I can find one that's not a Standing Liberty in here real quick. A Barber dime even. There's more than one of those in here. Oh, here we go. Washington quarter to 64 Denver. But that's what's in it. And it's more coins than I thought it was going to be. I've got several Barber halves now. These were some of the cheapest ones I've been able to get lately. At $9 1/4 a couple weeks ago each. And these were actually $9 each, so they were cheap too. Well, these cost more earlier, but I did get, I don't know if this is one of them, but 2 Walking Liberty halves this weekend for $7.50 a piece. They're dateless and worn pretty bad, but I've got a couple other ones in here that are pretty well dateless that I bought for $8 at the beginning of the year. But what I'm really low on is 64 Kennedys. I've only been able to find 5 total this year that I could buy. All the rest of them were either bought or spoken for before I could buy them. I probably got about $8 or $10 worth of Benjamin Franklin coins. Oh yeah, this is another interesting find. This one's had the rim worn slick. The rest of the coin, it's got some wear, but it's not that much. But the edge of this, the reading is all worn off. It was either in a washing machine or a dryer and got spun around a bunch of times and wore the typical reading off the side of it, which maybe if I hold them a couple up together, you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, that comes out pretty good. You can see how the older other coins have good reading, and this one is just worn flat. So only 4 JFKs. I'm thinking maybe $15 face of Walkers. This many Barber halves, which is 7. Some Barber quarters, bunch of Washington, bunch of Standing Liberties, well over 100 Mercury dimes. All in all, the amount of coins I've gotten in here has become astronomical. Wait. Let's go with those. But I mean, if you can get slick ones like these cheap enough, then it's worth to buy them. These are all worn out pretty bad. Miraculous enough, I was able to stand this one up on its rim on a counter at a restaurant when I was eating breakfast. It wasn't easy, but anyway, I don't know how much later I want to stay on tonight. I've live streamed earlier about this coin glass stuff, which is really cool looking. And this glass is really thick on this and heavy. There's one size bigger of these. This is about 7.5 to 8 inches across. The other one has a raised center in it. It's more of a cigar dish, I guess. But that's the one I really wanted. But the blue one on eBay was like $45. I got this for about, well, when they gave 10% off, for less than what it actually, half of that price. Well, less. Actually, it was priced at 22 and they took 10% off. So it's 220 came off, so it's just under $20. I had to pay tax, but that's the thing about silver. The state passed a law about 3 years ago where you buy silver, you don't have to pay sales tax on it. It used to be before that you did, and it made it a little bit less appealing to buy silver when you had to pay a sales tax too. But anyway, that is what I want to talk about. We'll show this green. Now, I have a picture where I bought this, that where the person has a bunch of coin glass stuff, a lot of blue, a lot of amber, a lot of red. They have an amber one like this too. This is a toothpick holder. And they have a green ashtray like this blue one, the big blue one here, that it's about the same price, but it's scratched up a little bit. This blue one's not bad. It might have some wear, but not too bad. But, you know, it's been a fun little journey to fill up this treasure chest the way I've been doing it, and gotten all kinds of interesting pieces of history, some at pretty cheap prices, like this Hogue Morgan. It's a 21, got it for $18 about 3 or 4 months ago. Other than that, I like the toning on this. It's a pleasing toning. Kind of brings out the details by dirtying up all the crevices a little bit. It makes everything stand out. But for $18, I'm going to buy a Morgan dollar for hole in it. And this, I ended up paying $20 for these. But lately, Morgan dollars, even worn out ones that are slick, worse, you know, coal coins at Amex and other places have been way more than that. So being able to get them for $20 is a bargain compared to what I've seen online. They won't let you buy one for anything less than about $30, even if it's worse than coal, as they call it. Most places I check. So the premium on silver's been pretty high. And but you know, a few more Morgan dollars and a few more peace dollars or whatever, I'll have a whole roll's worth. Because this is 14, I think. Yep, 14 of them. 14. Now, it was more peace dollars than Morgans, but I've caught the Morgans up quite a bit. Separating. Somebody tried to drill a hole in that one. So there is 8 Morgans and 6 peace dollars, including 2 of them that are really slick and worn. But that's basically my treasure chest challenge and how it's worked out. I mean, I even got lucky and was able to get a seated Liberty dime and a couple seated Liberty quarters, although they're heavily worn and one's holed. But I wanted to be able to get lots of different designs of these. Now, everything in this had to be cheap enough before I felt like I could throw it in a treasure chest and not worry about collectability in terms of wearing them out or handling them. And, you know, when they got a hole drilled in them, no one's going to really care. It's not something you can really grade. They would grade damage hold. I've seen some in holders that have been holed and plugged, but you don't get much of a price for them. And this, they would probably only authenticate it as a Morgan dollar because someone ground the date off of it. Got a couple examples of these. And if you haven't heard the story is they used to use these in slot machines. And in order to dissuade someone from wanting to keep it, because it's older. They ground the date off of them. Apparently it worked because my one coin dealer said he's seen bags of them. So, oh, speaking of bags, a big heavy canvas bag, I saw it listed on one of the bullion websites. It's probably the kind that was made to hold upwards of 1,000 Morgan dollars. Bank bag, basically. And it was under $4, and I'd like to get one because I'd rather keep these in something other than a Ziploc bag, which is what I've been keeping these in. But I mean, any of these are pretty well common date ones with some damage issues, so none of these are ones that are collectible really. No real key date ones, I don't think. I mean, I think it's the 49S is a little bit shorter date on these, and this is a 49S. That's an S there, although it's very blobby, and this is worn enough that I don't think it'd be collectible anymore. But, in terms of knowing what all the different coins in this are, I kind of looked at most of the half dollars, and as I put them in there, but in all the dollar coins, I've looked at them lots of times, but the dimes and most of the quarters, not really. So maybe when I'm done with all this and find a lot more time, I'll go through and start looking at these dates and see if there's anything in here interesting. There are some 16, teens. This is a 1920. There are some teen ones in there, so that is kind of interesting too. But more people showed up at my earlier live stream than this one. I wonder if one of the bigger channels has went online or something, or people are just not interested in watching tonight. But that's okay. We'll just leave this up for anybody that wants to see it. And let me go check real quick and see if anybody's live streaming. I would almost have to say the only person live streaming in the group of channels I'm closely, involved with and interact with, there isn't anyone. So I guess it's just me tonight. And it's not real late yet, but I do have to get ready to go back to work tomorrow. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end this tonight and hope you all have a good day tomorrow and in the coming days. And I'm going to thank AG Stacker again he did a video showing off some of this, and I watched it, and I thought, these coin glass items are really cool. And I had to get some. So if you haven't checked out AG Stacker 1776's channel, I recommend you go. He's got some cool videos. Go check Frosty. Frosty has been doing well. He's passed me in subscribers, so he's doing real well. And then go check out Old Country Coin Collector. And I don't really know who else to plug tonight. Addicted to Minis and loving it, and I have been exchanging quite a bit of messages on our videos lately. He's got some interesting stuff, so you can go check out him too. Now, I do have a video going live for my Treasure Chest Challenge talking about the last deal, which was one of these and two dateless Walking Liberties, half dollars. But I mean, the remarkable thing was how cheap I was able to get the two walkers for at $7.50 a piece. I've not been able to get another half dollar that cheap the whole year. Closest I came was a couple I got for $8 that were dateless in January. Everything else has been 9 1/4, 9.50, 10, 11. I think the most I paid for any of the halves is 12. And most of the quarters have been $5 or less, and the dimes at 210 or 215. I think is the highest, and I think I got some for like 205 or something. But you get them for what price you can. Now some of these, like that one dime I had out that was hold, I threw it back in here. It's probably slipped down, and I probably couldn't get it back out for a while. It was $1, including a severely beat up Roosevelt dime, which was also $1, and another Mercury, I think it was. But if you can get a dime for $1, that's not a bad price these days, even if it is beat up some. But I hope that you all have a good night, and we will talk to you again. I don't know, I might live stream again Thursday night, but we'll see. Have a good night and see you next time.